Hey guys. So last night I kind of got this intuitive nudge from Spirit that I would be sharing a message today. I wasn't sure what that message would be. I wasn't sure how it would come through, but I've really been flowing lately. I haven't even been on in a month, so that kind of tells you how much I'm just surrendering. I'm not pushing. I'm not trying to force anything in my life right now, in any aspect of it. So anyways, I got this nudge that I would be sharing today, and I sat down and meditating this morning, and I got the urge to grab my laptop. I started typing, just setting my intentions, clearing the space, connecting to Spirit. So what I do sometimes is I'll just start typing questions. So that's what I did. I started typing questions, some related to each other, some not related to each other. And I really was just letting what it was intuitively flowing to me come through as I was typing on this blank document that I pulled up on my computer. And so about 10 questions in, I asked something, and all of a sudden the answer comes flowing. And I was like, cool. Like, I can already tell this is what Spirit wants me to share. So I'm going to read that question and then share what came through. It's a little bit lengthy, but there's a lot of great nuggets in it, honestly. And yeah, just stick with me, and then I'll do a little bit of commentating after I get through with the message. So yeah. So the question was, what will I need to know about the upcoming changes taking place in the world in order to keep my family and self in a safe and happy space? And what the response that started coming through was this. Many people ask what we need to do to prepare for the coming changes, and the answers are right under our noses. Most people have this vision for what the perfect life would look like. Many light workers envision this harmonious life connected to nature with self-sustaining communities, small communities. Unfortunately, up until this point, there are few who have been able to achieve this. Even those who manifest this physically often cannot maintain a harmonious community, or there are bumps in the road that stall the happiness of this process, the happiness aspect of this process. So basically, they're able to create these communities, but they're not really being, there's bumps in the road. There's sometimes like the harmonious aspect of that process isn't achieved. Okay, so then they're going to elaborate on why. This is because the frequency of Gaia and her inhabitants didn't quite embody this yet on the scale many desire for the reality. There are plasma waves that have been continuously blasting off the sun recently. This has fast-tracked the healing journey for everyone. This will greatly assist humans, whether it feels like assistance or not. This will mean a lot of people experiencing extreme changes and shift in their lives in the name of expansion of consciousness. The more you expand, the less you are able to tolerate your old ways of being. You cannot repeat the toxic patterns because your awareness of it has expanded you into a different frequency. This new and expanded perspective will only align with life decisions that are on the next level or frequency that you are now aligned with. What people must understand is that this is a process, meaning the levels or frequencies are infinite, so you will continually experience death and rebirth cycles throughout this incarnation. Back to what you can do to prepare for the coming changes. Embody what you preach. Take every moment and use it with the most pure and loving intention for you, your family, and the mass consciousness as a whole. Take care of your physical vessel. Bask in nature. Plant the garden. Embody who you would want to be, whether there was an earth shift involved or not. Come from the frequency of excitement and creativity rather than fearful prepper mode. We are creating new earth as light workers, and we have all had visions and nudges from Spirit as to what this will embody. We must heal. Many feel stuck, like they know what to do, but for one reason or another, it is just not happening for them. It is our lack of healing and integration work that tends to limit us. With this assistance from the plasma waves, we are being forced to heal. What a blessing. It is saying to us all, new earth is happening. It is the will of the divine that is happening, a divine intervention en masse, if you will. All individuals will transform, and in the transformation will be the epic creation of new earth. This is a celebration that reverberates through the multiverse. The love frequency that emanates will literally be cellular. You will feel it through your entire body. It will be such a shift from the old world we have previously experienced that we will gradually stop perceiving the old world even exists. It has split into a different dimension. The frequencies are just too different to exist within effortless range of perceiving one another. You'd have to make a focused effort to perceive the other now. This may sound a bit bothersome considering other humans who chose not to shift with the new earth could be family, friends, etc. That is okay. The door is not shut to anyone who chooses to take longer or who choose to transition and try again. This journey is so complex. No individual's journey is the same as another. These unique blueprints are what assist the universe in its expansion to begin with. The variety of experiences create expansion. When we realize this, it helps us to forgive, to understand, to expand our ability to hold space for others. All are here learning. We can plant seeds, but people must have their own epiphanies. They must use their own free will to create expansion and change in their lives. Eventually, they will get tired of their limiting belief systems and cycles, and they will change and expand too, as others of us have. Whether they do it in this avatar or character they are playing right now to gain experience, or whether it be in an entire different lifetime, they are expanding and will continue to do so. There is an aspect of you that is that person. That is what expands our hearts and makes us want to assist them. As good as we may think our intentions are, we must maintain a healthy respect for the ascension process and allow people to fall so they can rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Our human minds and egos have a hard time letting go of control and trusting in the divine. And that's okay. It's normal even. But once you have surrendered to the flow of higher love frequencies, you will realize that shining the light of your highest self is the most powerful thing you could do for anyone, not running around trying to control things and save everyone. Letting go of drama in your life will lift you into higher frequencies. Letting go of lower density distractions will create space for higher vibrational experiences. You must take this moment and milk it. We are too busy wasting our moments away. What are our intentions truly? What do we really want to create? Oftentimes, we just create excuses and argue for our own limitations. You want to know how to prepare for the coming changes? Stop pretending to be someone you're not in the name of survival and start being who you are authentically in the name of thriving and love. And I just love that. I was just like, oh, like I feel that a lot where I feel like I know all the answers. Like I know what I want to do. I know what I want to create. I have notebooks of ideas, but I feel like everyday life and the distractions of having to live in the matrix and pay bills and have kids and all this stuff, I'm trying not to cuss so much. All this stuff is kind of like sucking that time away from what I want to be putting towards what I really want. So how can I create space, less distractions, less drama? How can I create that space in order to bring the actual things I want to focus on in, the actual intentions that I have for the new earth, for what I want to create in the co-creation of new earth with others? Like you have to create that space in your life. And we, like everybody's just like waiting for something to happen. And the only thing that's happening is like plasma coming from the sun, all these activations coming on. So it's helping us heal. So we're able to create that space in order to focus on that creation. Nothing is coming to save us or be created for us. We are the creators. We just have to heal enough, integrate enough so we can create that space in our lives and we can create that, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like no word quite embodies what I'm trying to say. That inspiration to create it, but I feel like we already have that inspiration based off the fact that we've received the ideas. We've received them. We've gotten excited about them before. We know what that excitement feels like. But what's it going to take for us to actually do something, for us to be about it, to create these healthy new routines in our life, to get out of the old ways? It doesn't even have to be a relationship distraction or a job distraction or whatever it is in the matrix, family, whatever it is, these crazy obligations that you think you have no choice but to do. Like whatever it is that's holding you back from having the time to do what you actually want to do and create what you actually want to create. We have to somehow figure out what those limiting beliefs are that are paralyzing us and not allowing us to move forward in this direction that we want to move in. Because I feel that from so many people. Like, I can see they know. I can see they get that divine inspiration. And they're just like, how do I follow it though? Like, there's just so many things. I don't even know when I would do it. Like, I don't know where the resources would come from. It's like all these limiting beliefs. That is what is holding us back. And that's what I got from the message. It was just like, you got what it takes. It's like, you have to integrate. You have to heal. You have all the answers to the test, but you're not really applying it. It's easier to stay in this comfort zone of doing what you've always done, or like being where you've always been. And that place is crumbling now, right? Because the light is being shined on it. It's like once you raise into a higher frequency, you can no longer go back and do the same things you did and just be like, huh, no big deal. You're like, oh, this feels horrible. Like, I don't want to be in this. I don't want to choose this anymore, right? And so it was just uplifting and in a powerful message for me, because it said, get your priorities straight, Kelsey. Get your ducks in a row. Decide what you want to do and do it. Don't just say, I want to do this, I want to do this. Actually go out there and do it. And it's one thing at a time. It doesn't have to be anything huge. You just have to get the ball rolling. You have to see how good it feels to start this co-creation of New Earth. You have to really look at the things, like say you've already started really creating, hands in the clay, manifesting in the physical, but it's like, who's on board with me? I feel like I'm in this alone, right? Where's my tribe? And like, then if that's the things that aren't showing up for you, you have to dig deep and do that inner work and be like, okay, why isn't this showing up for me? What limiting beliefs do I have? What things am I holding on to? What drama am I replaying in my head that's not creating space for me to be thinking about what I should be thinking about, I should be focused on? Really taking a microscope and examining where our limiting beliefs are, and having the courage to say, damn, I'm stuck in this area. And this is, maybe you can even get out a piece of paper. This is what I can do about it. This is where I'm stuck. This is what I can do about it. Here's 5 different timelines I could take to change this, right? Sometimes we really have to dig deep when we integrate, because it's too easy to fall back into the same patterns. Those damn cycles are serious. And half the time when you're in a cycle, you don't even know you're in it. That's the beauty about waking up. You start expanding and you start seeing that you're in it. That is beautiful, because that's the first step to doing something about it. But if we want to expand and prepare ourselves for this new earth, we have to do the integration. We have to do the healing. We have to take a deep breath when we're triggered, step back, examine it from a higher perspective, allow ourselves to feel the feels, but not project the feels, right? Or make a story about it, or let your mind run wild. So it's like all these things have to occur. And it's crazy when we ask the question, what can we do to prepare for the coming changes? And the response is, would you freaking heal already? Because it's the healing. It's actually taking what you've learned from how much you've healed so far and living your life differently. And that's just in everyday moments, interacting with people, with your kids, with your spouse, with your coworkers, with people at the grocery store, just in general. And then like recognizing where changes could be made so you can expand in love in more areas of your life. And then things will start falling into place. Why? Because you're at a frequency. And then once you can maintain this frequency and not keep dipping down because we're repeating old patterns, once you can maintain a frequency, then it allows the universe to co-create and bring you things that are of that same frequency. We have to match the frequency that we want to create in the world. So if we want to expand and create that community, what frequency is that on? And are we on it? Or are we still dancing in drama? Are we still on the phone gossiping? Are we still like allowing somebody else's trauma to impact how we feel? Like, stop taking everything so personally And maybe if something that somebody else is doing is making you feel some type of way, like, what does that mean? What does that mean for you? It's not about pointing the other finger at the job, at the person, at the whatever. It really truly is. It's like, what is it about me that's allowing this to affect me? What is this about me that is allowing me to attract this into my life? Right? What role am I actively playing in this? And why is it in my space? What does it want me to see? Because this is the Earth School, as Dolores Cannon says. Like, we came here to learn and expand. And we can only expand through experiencing contrast, right? Like it said in the message, like, that's not going to end. These death and rebirth cycles are infinite because the frequencies that you can raise into are infinite. But you don't want to keep doing the same death and rebirth cycle because you haven't learned that lesson. You want to rise up to the next level and go on to the next lesson so you can expand more in love, because that shit feels amazing. Like, once you start healing and you have these really expanded love experiences, you cannot go back. You can't go back to the old shit. If you do, it's torture. That's the beauty of really having a taste of higher vibrational experiences, because it motivates you to want to change, because you're like, I can't do that same old monotonous, low vibrational 3D bullshit anymore that majority of society is embodying. And then once you just be the light and you stop trying to change everyone, like everyone, and you let the universe work its magic, let people fall and learn their own damn lessons without dragging you down with them, and you maintain this calm. The calm is your superpower. And you maintain this focus where your mind isn't like racing a mile a minute, and you're really just like, that person just did something that would normally upset me, but I recognize that they're just swimming in their own darkness, and I don't have to take it personally. I don't have to take what my boss said personally. I don't have to take anything personally. And then once you have that peace, that's when you can create the space to co-create new earth with the universe and others around you and other light beings who are ready and on that vibrational frequency with you. And so we can't lose sight of that. We really have to focus on, like, for me, one of the biggest things I have an issue with is sugar. I have a crazy addiction to sugar, and I have a super fast metabolism. So I can't just be motivated by gaining weight. Like, I have to be motivated by the fact that I know that shit is not good for me. I know that is not what I see as my future. What I see as my future is growing my own food and creating beautiful recipes and feeding that to myself and my family, and knowing I'm drinking clean water, and knowing that everything I put into my body is a conscious intention of how I want it to thrive, right? And so it's been a wild experience in every little detail of my life, because I really am wanting to come into every moment with that conscious intention of milking it. What is the highest vibrational space that I can come from right now? But not so conscious of it that you're like obsessive. It's almost like if you get too conscious of it, you get like those people like, I can never do this, I can never do that. And they're so uptight. That's control. That's ego. So like, it's like those people who are hardcore vegan and shame other people who aren't vegan and stuff like that. That is so ego. That is so control. But they're trying to come from a well-intended place. They're trying to come from that place of, I want what's best for my body, but there's still limiting belief there, right? So it's like, you really have to go through this integration process. You really have to go through the trenches with it to get in that space of being detached, being the observer, but still being consciously aware and able to milk the moment in the most loving way, not beating up on yourself. Because if you do take that approach where you're like, I'm just going to stay with that example, like an adamant vegan, that control, that is bringing you down to a lower frequency. And it's like, as well-intended as you may be, it's that limiting belief still lingering there, right? We gotta be easy. Like when you're connected to higher vibrational states of being, like It's a very flow. It's very easy. It's very just connected. There isn't thinking. There's not a lot of thinking involved. Consciously aware? Yes. Do I want to eat this cookie right now? No. I'm consciously aware that it's not good for me. Am I going to shame myself if I get into this moment where I'm like, oh, who cares? It's like, who cares? It's going to taste good for a moment. No big deal. Am I going to shame myself for that? No. But am I going to next time try to come from a higher space? Absolutely. Like absolutely. And you know how hard it is to balance in that area? It is difficult because I've been all the things. I would say about 15 years ago, I think it was about 15 years ago, I was a vegan, an adamant vegan who wouldn't touch meat and all that kind of stuff. I'm not today, but I'm still like working through different things, and I've dipped in and out of different areas when it comes to what I eat and what I put in my body and stuff. And I have some amazing healthy habits I've done over the past decade, and I'm still doing them. But I also have some habits that I've carried with me because they're just addictions. They're harder to, kick. And do I shame myself for it? No. But sometimes I see myself getting into that space where like, okay, don't shame yourself for it, Kelsey. But also like, why you keep doing it though? So you have to be like brutally honest with yourself when it comes to everything. But not to the point of shaming yourself. So where is that balance? Where is that unconditionally loving space where you're like detached, but still like, you need to give a shit about yourself. You need to give a shit about your future, your family's future, and the whole bit. And the more you embody that, the more you will continue to attract and co-create more situations where you care more about those things into your life. And I hope that made sense because it kind of sounds contradictory when you're going through the healing process. It can, because you have to, unconditional love can sound contradictory sometimes. And that's just the paradox of expansion, of raising your frequency, of being in this body and learning to expand using an avatar, using a human body. Like we've been so many things. We've experienced so many things that most of us do not remember. Most of us do not remember our past lives. Most of us do not, remember a lot of the gifts that we've had in the past. And so like the more that we embody, wanting to come into a healthier space in all aspects of our life, the more it will show up for us. And that's the moral of the story of this video. It's really just detaching from what doesn't serve to create that space to open up for what does serve, right? The highest good of you and all. Because whatever serves the highest good of you, inadvertently serves the highest good of all. And that just goes back to like not trying to change people or control anything, and just allowing the divine to do its work. It's beyond faith. It's a knowingness. It's knowing, look, if this is for me, the universe has it. All I have to focus on is being the highest version of myself. I don't have to force anyone to do anything. They have to have their own epiphanies. They have to have their own aha moments. Maybe they'll come with me right now. Maybe they'll come with me later. Maybe it won't even be in this lifetime, and I'm okay with that, right? And just sinking into that trust and that knowingness that the universe is co-creating with you as long as you're in that alignment. Even if you're not in that alignment, the universe is going to keep giving you situations to be like, hey, do you see it now? Do you see it now? And so you're always connected. You just have to be in that recognition so you can work with it, so you can recognize it. So you can be like, oh, hey, Spirit, how you doing? Every time I see an angel number, I just say, hey, Spirit, every single time, because I'm just like, thank you for being here with me. And the more you acknowledge that connection, the more you embody it, the more things will flow to you, because you're creating that space. Because you could be thinking about anything, but you're like, hey, Spirit, thank you for being here with me right now. I'm choosing and I'm intending to connect with you right now, and doing that periodically throughout the day and just seeing what happens. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful integration. It's beautiful co-creation with whatever comes into your path. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share. There were some other things that I asked and that I know I'm going to make a video on, but it wasn't for today. This was the most random today message, and I'm just flowing with it. after 8 months separation, then I had a separation with twin flame for like a month now, but it was 8 months, and it was the most exponential growth period of my entire ascension journey in this lifetime so far. I have become become so much more connected to spirit, grown in so many ways, become so much more aware of myself and where those little blind spots were for me. And the only thing that would have done that would have been that separation. And I want to make a whole video and really sit down with that energy and share with you how I've expanded. I don't think there's enough people sharing that, and I think it's easy not to share it because of the stigma. But because so many people do not share their personal experiences on the twin flame journey, they just share a bunch of like generalized like aspects of the journey that they go through, but they don't actually share like exactly what they're going through. Like, I feel this pressure in a way, in a positive way, to do it, because I don't really give a shit what people think about twin flames or if they exist or anything like that. And I've told you guys that before. I know it's a very real experience because I'm experiencing it. I think sometimes people who are close to me do not understand it because it brings up the shadow in you. So anybody on the outside looking in, it's easy for them to judge it. But like, these are the things that I never have asked anybody this, but anybody who doubts it, because nobody really wants to say they do, but their energy says they do. So like, whenever that energy comes about, I just want to be like, you see who I am as a person, right? You see I'm pretty put together. I'm doing okay for myself, right? In life, I'm mentally with it. So if I'm telling you I'm having this experience, it's real. You know, it's really something that has changed my life for the better. It has put me in some of the darkest moments of my life. But why? Because I needed to see that about me, right? And they needed to see that about them. And it's this insane expansion. And I really know that part of having this channel is because I have to share that with others who are going through it, because it is brutal, but you expand into like the most beautiful version of yourself because of it. And people also see that. So it's so confusing. It's like anyone looking from the outside in is like, heck no, that's not good for you. But why? Like, look at you. You're great. You're like expanding from it. Like, they see it, but they can't quite connect the dots. They don't understand it because they haven't experienced it. If you have not experienced, it doesn't matter what it is. If you haven't experienced something, you truly don't understand what it means to come from that space, or to, experience it in general. So I'm going to make a video on the ways I've changed in my longest separation that I've experienced on this journey. I had a 2-month one, a 4-month one, and this is 8 months. So, and I hope for it to be the last. But I will not say that's what it's supposed to be, because I don't know what the universe has in store, and I'm open, and I honestly create more space for myself because I recognize how important it is for me to be alone more. Even though I feel like I'm alone a lot, but that alone time is important. And sometimes you can be at home by yourself, but you're still kind of like allowing other energies to seep into the space. So you're not alone. You know, you have your phone. People can contact you at any point in time. Sometimes you just got to put on that airplane mode and be like, no, me and spirit, that's all that's going on right now, right? So anyways, I don't mean to like go on and on, because I'm going to make a video and really go into detail about things that I've personally experienced and expanded on in the journey, because I feel like it will help others. So look for that in the future. And I hope everyone has an amazing rest of their week.